Do.
Come on and do the podcast. Do. It's podcast time for sure.
It certainly is. It's not Matt Attack. Party over here! Yeah, we got a cup of tea. It's a Saturday afternoon. And you will actually probably, if you are listening to this, be listening to it slightly earlier than usual because I'm off to the UK tomorrow, which is Sunday, which is the day the podcast is usually out. And so I will need to upload this on the Saturday.
Don't go, Matthew.
I'm sorry, Tom. I mean,
we'll both be in the UK at the same time, actually, won't we?
We will, yeah. You'll be watching the Weezers.
The Weezers, yes,
the
that
Weezers.
hip new band.
Yes. Yeah. You're gonna go watch Weezer.
And you're going.
I'm gonna go sort out wedding things, which is
yeah.
rather exciting, and then I'm gonna go eat and buy a load of video games. Hopefully, we'll see.
Video game.
I know, right? Been playing any?
Yeah, a little.
Really?
Not so many actually this last week.
Me neither. To be well, actually, that's a lie, but I'll get to that in a minute.
What do we do? Okay, so on Thursday night, me and my friend Gareth, who I've mentioned before, we played video games together.
You played
quite
video
regularly.
games on a Thursday with a guy called Gareth.
Yeah. I persuaded him to play a bit Star Wars Battlefront with me.
Oh wow! How does that hold up, Tom?
Oh. Well, first we started off with cargo, and it frustrated me a little bit because we didn't really get anywhere. I think there's certain maps which are better for cargo than other maps.
Yeah.
This is the capture the flag type game mode. I enjoy the one that's like Mos Eisley Cantina one. That's good. But then again, the other ones, they're usually like a long corridor.
Yes.
It's not necessarily a corridor, but a long space, and I find that most of the match is taken up with just getting to the cargo and then dying, and it wasn't much fun. So we were having more fun just shooting other people. So we went on the blast mode, which is deathmatch basically, isn't it, under another name? And that was a bit more fun, but we tired of it quite quickly. Now, I mean, Gareth, we play a lot of Call of Duty online, and I have to say that experience is a lot more enjoyable than the equivalent experience in Battlefront, despite the fact that Battlefront is a beautiful game and it's full of Star Wars stuff. I was saying, as I was playing it to Gareth, there's no Star Wars music. It's all very, where's the
dull
music?
Yeah, we've talked about this before.
It does come in every now and again, and then it starts to feel more like Star Wars and gets a little bit more exciting.
Okay.
But it's something, as I've said, we said about Battlefront 2, very sterile about Battlefront. And we felt that. I felt that very much last time I played it. So it's fun for a little bit, but no, I grew tired of it fairly quickly.
It's pretty much my experience with that game. I've talked in tedium how much I dislike Battlefront.
I think it's all the hoo-ha going around at the moment, with Battlefront 2 that made me think, maybe I should just give it another go, but...
See, I'm totally now doubling down on my stance of I'm definitely not buying Battlefront 2. And I tell you for why. It's the news about Visceral Games. I don't know if you...
they were developing Star Wars games. Visceral, who
they were
responsible for some good games, actually.
Some incredible games.
The Dead Space series and Dante's Inferno.
They also did Battlefield Hardline, which admittedly was a bit of a misstep, but through no fault of their own, I don't necessarily think. But, yeah, it's what it is.
EA shut them down.
EA released a very long public statement that essentially alluded to the fact that, look, we're putting a lot of time and money into this video game. We hired Amy Hennig, previously of Uncharted fame, to create a large single-player experience.
Great.
And for that money, essentially, reading between the lines, they could make a Star Wars game full of microtransactions and online content that would generate more money. So they shut it down.
In favour of Battlefront 2?
No. They are going to now, using EA Studios worldwide, repurpose the assets and create another game. So it will not be a large... potentially not a large single-player focused game.
That was funny.
It was.
Single player focus.
Yes, single-player focus. Why, aye, lad? A single-player focus. It will not be a single-player focused game anymore. Why, aye? Yeah, it's kind of sad.
But that's what you want now, because people are seemingly a little disappointed that the story mode in Battlefront 2 isn't as comprehensive as they might have hoped it would be. I mean, I don't think it's very surprising at all, the length of it, and I think it's quite reasonable. But
how long is it?
5 to 7 hours.
Okay, that's fine, yeah.
I think that's fine as well, but I think some people are a bit up in arms that they expected more. But this is Battlefront we're talking about. It's not necessarily a single-player game.
No.
I mean, isn't that similar to Titanfall? You get a bit more out of Titanfall, I imagine.
I think so, yeah. But to be honest with you, I have not played Battlefront 2's campaign, and like I said, I probably won't. But
it's bound to be better than everything.
Titanfall 2 did some very good things with mechanics and very interesting things that I'd not necessarily seen in games or approached them in different ways. It was a joy to play through just because they'd made set scenes and gone, hey, we'll piece these together. You go between these moments that are great set pieces.
Yeah. I think people are most excited about the single player, aren't they, in Battlefront 2?
I think so.
I think people really want a single player Star Wars game, an adventure. And the fact that they've shut this one down in favour of something else,
well,
it's a bit disconcerting, isn't it?
It is, especially for me, but I mean, you have to bear in mind, man, like, EA's been burned this year on Mass Effect Andromeda. Like, they poured a lot of money into a large single-player experience, met with lukewarm reviews, and now they are not making that game anymore. There will be no DLC, there will be nothing for it, just because not a lot of people bought it, because it reviewed terribly. I guess if you look at it...
the trick is then maybe make a more quality title.
But I mean, you know, like...
If it is, I don't know, I've not played it. I can't comment on it.
I guess it's just a numbers game, man. Like, they look at it, they say, okay, how many can we potentially sell with this? What's our budget for it? If those things don't align up, it's like, okay, well, this can be a single player campaign for this amount of money. Like, there are
all
charts
about the money and business, isn't
well,
it? Yeah.
of course it is.
Of course, I know it is a
business.
business. It's a big business.
So,
but the games are now being dictated
based
on financial earnings. Yeah.
I'm all for playing video games that aren't huge AAA experiences.
And if this is what's going to happen to our AAA experiences,
then maybe I'm not that interested in buying any of them. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Let's see how it goes. I'm very sad for the folks at Visceral.
Definitely a very talented bunch of people there. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
I mean, a lot of great studios have fallen in the past.
They have.
I remember when
a lot of
Creations went, bust or got shut down. I don't know how that went about, but they also were a very talented group.
Yes. I mean, it seems to be the
endless,
thing for
really?
EA Studios, right? Is that they tend
Although
to
wasn't it Activision who had Bizarre Creations?
It was.
I think
it was.
I think they published Blur. I can't remember.
But I mean, this is the way it goes, right? Is it seems to be these larger publishers hoover up these smaller studios. They make great games, and then after a while they disappear.
You've done what we needed you to do.
Yeah,
now.
Psygnosis. Lots. Too many to actually name.
Is it Guerrilla who make?
Guerrilla is the people who make
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Horizon and Killzone. Yes.
Yeah, they're doing all right then. Still.
They're doing okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, wasn't Guerrilla a studio? No,
it was always a Sony studio, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's always been a Sony studio.
Yeah.
Like Sony Santa Monica.
Sony seem to have a better track record there with studios, don't they, than EA, perhaps?
Not necessarily. I do think Sony has shuttered a few studios.
Media
in its
Molecule,
time.
what are they doing?
Who knows? That Dreams
Yeah,
game,
that looked really interesting.
I thought. Do you think we'll ever see that?
I haven't heard about it for a while, have we?
We haven't heard about it for about 2 years. I honestly, I never think that game's coming. I think Media Molecule will either do
they don't see the
Little
mass
Big
appeal
Planet,
in
or
it.
they'll disappear.
They passed on the reins to Sumo Digital for Little Big Planet. So.
They did.
Or Sony did.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably Sony.
Oh, that's all a bit depressing, isn't it?
Doom and gloom.
Doom's coming out on Switch.
It is, eventually. I'm just actually looking at a list of games in October that's coming out because I was made aware by an email this morning going, hey, Stranger Things Season 2 is coming out on October the 27th.
27th, is it?
The same day as every big major game release.
Well, It's all right. You don't have to watch all Stranger Things in one go.
You do, Tom, because the internet exists.
I did last time.
Yeah, so did we. Well, we didn't. We watched it over a couple of nights, but it will be dropping on October 27th, along with Assassin's Creed Origins, Super Mario Odyssey, Wolfenstein 2.
Yeah, Super Mario Odyssey.
Yes.
I nearly bought a Switch this morning.
Really?
But I thought, so I really want to pay 330 quid for a Mario game, because that's the primary reason I would buy one.
I honestly think you would get a lot of good experiences out of that console.
It's a lot of money.
It is.
And I was looking at the best deal I could get for it, and I was on Shop 2, and I was trying to pre-order one there.
Yeah.
Trying to buy the console. This console bundle actually worked out a lot better than the pre-made bundle Nintendo have created with the red Joy-Cons.
Yes.
There was a deal that they were doing where you could get everything for about $325, including the case, which is included in the American edition of the Mario Odyssey bundle. So you get the game, the console, and the case. And the console, you could choose either the grey one or the coloured one.
Yeah.
That's why I went for the coloured one, and I was trying to make this bundle, and for some reason the website didn't work properly. And when you add on things into the bundle, you could not add on pre-orders. Right. It just broke the site.
Okay, weird.
So, and the fact that you can get a big saving from actually making the bundle. You can save about £5 on Mario. You can save about £3 on the case.
How much? Okay,
so
right.
It worked out about 325, and you got all of it for less than the actual proper official bundle.
Because you can buy a Nintendo Switch with the neon blue and neon red Joy-Cons in Denmark for about 250 quid. Or maybe about 260. And then you could probably pick up Super Mario Odyssey in the UK for cheaper.
Yeah, the cheapest was in this bundle deal at 37. Everywhere else seems to be selling it for about 40 to 45.
Doesn't surprise me. It is a Nintendo Mario game. It is going to be the killer app for that system for Christmas.
Then I'm thinking, actually, some other games I want for the consoles I've already got. So I'm thinking, I just get the games I want. I want to get the new Dragon Ball game. So,
you could just buy a Switch.
It's a lot of money, Matthew. It's a lot of money, and I got to be a bit responsible with it. I'm still considering it, but it's not enough that I really want on Switch, really.
More than on the Xbox One.
I don't know. I've got quite a good Xbox One
You've
collection.
bought a load of third-party games and stuff, and you're into Forza.
Yeah, that's right. And I was playing a bit of Recore this morning.
Recore?
Core.
Blimey.
Yeah, I played it. Actually, you remembered my save game from the trial version I played ages ago. It didn't lose it. It's upgraded itself to the definitive edition now, and actually been able to still keep the save game, which I thought was very good.
Yeah.
I jumped right back in with little difficulty, actually. It's still a very playable game, I find.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's mind-blowing visually.
No.
No. I was a little bit underwhelmed when I turned it on and started playing. I was like, oh yeah, I thought it looked a bit better than this. So I was like, oh right, it's okay. It doesn't matter about that. The controls are really good, and I like this sort of like fishing mechanic. The tension when you're stealing the energy off the enemies as you kill them, then you get them down to a certain health point, and then you can pull this orb from them. And I can't remember how you use these exactly. I think it's to upgrade certain things, like your little dog that follows you around. And there's a lot of scrap and things that you collect to what do you call it, craft certain things. And I hadn't had to do any of that in the brief period I played it this morning, but I very much enjoyed it. I think the controls are very tight, and it's a pretty fun game.
Yeah.
And I got it quite cheap.
You did?
You were there when I got it from Blue City here in Denmark. I think it's equivalent of about £12. It's 100 kroner.
It's all right.
It's all right. I mean, the fact that it's a free upgrade to this definitive edition, I think it adds on some extra content. Like there's some more gameplay in there. There's like a different area.
It adds on the end of the game that they didn't
finish. Oh, really?
Yeah.
So now is the time to pick up Recore then, I guess.
Yes, it is.
Because it's evidently quite reasonably priced nowadays. So do pick it up. It's not bad.
I will eventually get it. I think I'll probably keep an eye out for it in the UK.
An all right game.
I heard good things. I just heard there wasn't an ending.
I haven't played a lot of it. I've been a bit busy, so I haven't had a lot of time to really sink into it. I hear it's a good game,
but it falls off at the end.
Okay.
So hopefully this definitive edition will have fixed that.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Who knows?
I'd also want to play Super Lucky's Tale as well, which is another Xbox exclusive.
Yes, it
The
is.
platform
Well, actually,
game.
I mean, you could just play it on an Oculus already.
Yeah,
but
you can do that, but
I-
I'm quite happy to have an Xbox
I
One.
heard mixed things about Super Lucky's Tale in VR.
Yeah. It maybe didn't need the VR,
no.
to be honest, which is what it is on the Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a new dashboard on Xbox now.
Yeah.
And do you know what? It's a lot better than it used to be, which is crazy to think how many versions they've had of that, front end of the console. I can't recall exactly how many they've had, but now finally they've managed to simplify it enough. And it actually feels a lot like the PlayStation 1 now, which is funny. They've had all these reiterations of it.
Yeah.
And now they've just done something like it's very simple, stripped back, a lot like the PS4, actually.
Okay.
So you should try it out because it's a lot more intuitive than it used to be.
When did that happen? Because I've been playing
very recently, actually, just today.
Okay.
That's my Xbox turned itself on by itself, which it seems to like to do every now and again.
Yeah.
To do this update, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Always on, my friend.
It should have been like that to begin with, really.
Yeah.
But
well, yeah. I mean, there are a lot of things that could be learned from the launch of the Xbox One. I mean, they went from having amazing party systems for online play and fucked that up, and they had a lot of really nice things with the dashboard in the original 360 that they seem to have thrown out the window, enabling voice control instead, like making it more Kinect focused, and then they took the Kinect out.
Yeah, it's a little bit messy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas Sony have pretty much had the same dash from the beginning. I know there's been changes to it, but
yeah, I mean, the folder structure for me still isn't great. Like
on the PS4?
On the PlayStation 4, yeah. I would like to have the ability to have games in different folders.
You can.
I cannot. I can have different games in different folders. You cannot have the same game. As soon as I moved...
Oh, you can't have a game in multiple folders?
No, for example, I heard on a podcast someone was telling me that they...
Why would you want to do that?
Because someone had put a folder saying, like, completed games.
Oh.
And for my interests, as someone who does document what they play and what they complete, I wanted to have things in a completed games folder. I usually do. However, there are certain games on there that I know I finished and certain ones I know I haven't. And so I wanted to sort them out.
Instead of sticking stickers on them?
Well, I mean, the digital copies.
Yeah, digital ones.
Digital games I can't do that with. Usually I would delete them.
It'd be good if you could actually just add a little tag, like a star or something. Yeah,
that'd be nice.
a neat function. It's
It
just
would.
like you do with the physical box. You stick a sticker on it. Just stick a little star saying done.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Maybe we should suggest that. Sony, if you're listening, or Microsoft, if you like to beat them to it, then add this. Even Nintendo.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But, oh well, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Platinum Trophy, I guess, is kind of that, but you don't see it alongside the game.
You should see it on the little icon you get.
Yeah. It'd be nice.
That would be nice.
But alas, Tom, that's not the way it is. And so I had all of my games sorted into, like, couch co-op and, like, whatever.
Action puzzle.
And into genres that actually existed, thank you. And...
What is Worms?
What is Worms?
What is Worms? What would you call it?
I would call it I don't know what I'd call Worms, actually. A strategy game.
Strategy game. What about Oddworld?
Oddworld's a platformer. What is love?
But it's got
Baby,
strong puzzle
hurt
elements.
Me. So does Mega Man. Don't hurt me.
Not like Oddworld
does. Well, I mean, you use enemies to rock, paper, scissors, everything. So technically, I mean, you possessing a slig to throw a switch is not that far removed.
I think it's quite different. Did you know this new one, that Soulstorm, that's coming out, is a remake of Abe's Exodus? I thought it was a brand new Oddworld game, but it turns out it's actually just a remake.
I didn't even realise they were making a new Oddworld game. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's Exodus, yes, which is the one I've actually played a lot more than Odyssey, funnily enough, because I had it on the PC.
I never beat Exodus.
Yeah.
I beat Odyssey. I never beat Exodus. I played through about half of Munches. I didn't really like it. And I've played a little bit of Stranger's Wrath.
I thought it was about time for just a new Oddworld game.
That would be nice. Yeah, but I mean, hey, I'm totally all for them making Abe's Exodus again. That seemed like a very good game.
Yeah. Good.
Cool.
But it's got definitely even more sinister edge, it seems, the way they're promoting it, at least.
Okay.
Now, so.
I mean, it's a pretty bleak fucking game from what I remember.
Yeah, I guess it is.
I mean, both of them are. It's kind of weird, actually, how much
How popular they are.
that game got through on like farts and
It's
saying
got
hello, hello, when it's all about essentially grinding people up and slavery and lots of other
Eating
things. Yeah, eating people and corporations like literally killing their employees. It's pretty grim when you really think about it.
So, Matt, what have you been playing recently?
I've mainly been playing a game called Avenging Spirit.
Oh, yes, you were showing me. This.
It's an arcade game by Jalico. It's developed by a company called CP Brain, and they didn't really make any other games bar Avenging Spirit. Jalico, obviously, is a huge developer and publisher, but they published this one game by this company that's pretty damn good. And it is also a really grim game. Essentially, you are a boy who's walking with his girlfriend, who has no name, and while you're doing that...
Does the boy have a name?
No.
Yeah.
You're walking down an alleyway, and someone pulls a gun on you, shoots you, kills you, and kidnaps your girlfriend.
Oh, no.
Turns out her dad is a ghost scientist, and the mafia wanted his research on the ghost science, and so he brings you back as a ghost, and then you are an avenging spirit, and you go around the level.
Perfectly titled game.
It is. You possess people, and then you puppet them to their own demise, and then you possess more other people.
We've made a connection here. We just went from talking about Oddworld to Avenging Spirit.
Yeah.
And how they have similar mechanics.
They do, yeah. But Avenging Spirit came in 1991.
Wow.
So, I mean, there's loads of games that do stuff like this, right?
Possessing
I mean, there's that
enemies.
game Geist on the GameCube.
Game I've long been curious about. Never played it, actually.
There are some other things. I mean, technically, you're doing that in something else I played recently. I can't remember what it is, though. There are a few games where you possess people and take over them, but here it's all very cartoony.
Do you do that in Second Sight? Or Psyops? Or
one of those. Yeah.
Something like that.
But yeah, it's pretty good. I won't talk about it too much in length because I've literally just
You've done a video, so you have
13-minute video.
You have to watch the video.
You do.
I watched your recent boy graphic, Matthew.
Thank you.
Very good at Boxel. Nice.
Boxel. Were you convinced that you wanted a block pushing
I'd
puzzle
try
in
it,
your
but
life?
yeah, seems like it gets quite difficult. Perhaps
it does, and it's also very repetitive.
Yeah, difficult and repetitive,
but charming.
But actually,
the music's nice.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's something like that on the phone.
There is definitely a Sokobon game actually made by the guy who made it. Who I've forgotten his name. His name escapes me in the moment. From Thinking Rabbit.
Okay.
You can get that.
Good for a phone.
Actually publishes those games now. Who are the people who make the Ease games?
Oh, yes, which have a lot of press recently with the latest Ease game.
Yes, which I want to pick up. Though apparently I hear it's not very good. I hear there's some weird... I hear the gameplay is incredible. I hear there's some weird translation choices.
Apparently it's got quite amusing dialogue. Maybe that's something.
Yeah, amusing being the operative word because it's apparently just broken English.
That there is less in the Vita version, apparently.
Okay.
Some story cutscenes and things shortened in the Vita version and longer in the PS4 version.
I will be picking up the PS4 version if I get any of them. But to be honest with you, as much as I like these games,
I've never played one of them.
I have a few of them. I just never end up finishing them. I kind of lose interest.
What systems are they available for? PSP? And they began on the Master System, I know. There's or before.
They began before. There's some on the... Right, so you can get Ease games. You can get them for the Master System. You can get them for the Mega Drive.
Probably MSX.
MSX is the original console, I believe, in the PC-88. There are remakes of those first two games on the DS, which I own. You can get...
everything there.
The third game is on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
And then pretty much there's a lot on PSP. I think a lot of them are PlayStation 1, and there are some on PlayStation 2. And then I think there's also some on the PS3, the Vita, and the PS4. They got a long and varied thing of being on a lot of systems. I hope actually they release it on the Switch, because then I may finally give it a go. It's a good game series, but to be honest with you, I never feel the inclination, despite it being very Zelda-like, to ever finish those games. I don't know why.
Hey, so grab you then.
No, I enjoy playing them. The story never grips me long enough to commit like 10, 15 hours to them.
Yeah, unlike Persona.
Which is a shame. Unlike Persona, yeah. Have you played any more of that?
Soon I will, because I'm going to be on a plane soon.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
I only seem to play Persona on planes.
Plane Sona.
Yeah.
Plane Sona.
So I'm going to have a good long play of Persona very soon.
I'm actually thinking...
Persona 4 this is on
Yes.
the Vita.
Plain Persona 4.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about whether or not I should start Has Been Heroes, or if I should
It's a Switch
complete
game.
Mario vs. Rabbids. This is the decision I'm met with at the moment.
Yeah. Ooh, I don't know.
I know.
You want to complete something so you can move on to Mario. You're going to get Mario. It's out like in a week.
I'm definitely going to get Mario. I will
Yeah.
be in the UK at the time. It
Yeah.
will be cheaper. And I also leave on payday, so I'll just be like, yes, Cinemora, Super Mario Odyssey, make it rain.
Oh, yeah. All about the Switch.
All about that Switch. Yeah.
One of the games I wanted to get for Switch, if I would get one, was Puyo Tetris.
Yep.
And I think I still would. But I was on eBay today and I found a PS4 copy for £12.50.
Oh, okay.
So I just snapped that up. It was a Japanese copy, but
Yeah.
I thought, well, it's Puyo. It can't be that difficult to play.
It's got a story mode, though.
Ah,
And you unlock
well,
things
you know,
by playing through the
I
story
always
mode.
skip story modes.
That's
and,
true.
In the other Puyo games, when they try and do story, I just skip all of it.
What? But what if Dr. Dog needs you?
So, well.
What if the
whatever.
witch has something to say that's important?
They'll all talk in Japanese, won't they?
They will, yeah.
As opposed to... Because they do say things, don't they?
They do say things, yeah.
Maybe they'll say them in English.
Don't think so.
Doesn't matter.
If you'd have bought the Asian version, which is the version released in China,
Yeah.
Taiwan, and Korea, you would have had English options.
I just bought the cheapest
It's
one.
fine. It's fine, Parry.
I bought some other games too. Do you want to hear about them?
Go on, then. Tell me. Go on, then.
All right. Hang on. What have we got? I wrote them down in my little notebook here. It's actually a phone. So I mentioned a few weeks ago now that I bought that Atari Flashback game, the first
Yes.
volume. I got the second one for £12 for the Xbox One. Got the first one for PS4, and this one I got an Xbox One.
Yeah.
We talked about Puyo Tetris. Lovely Planet. I think it's called Lovely Planet. This was a downloadable title for PS4. It's a first-person shooter, but not your conventional one in the slightest. It's very bright and colourful, very Japanese, very vector-based. It's very short areas. You've just basically get to the flagpole at the end of the level, like Mario.
Okay.
But it involves shooting every enemy in the area before you can progress.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of platforming in there, the shooting. It's a very addicting game. And it was very cheap. It was about £3.
Okay.
It was available on Switch as well, and PS3. It's not Switch. I meant Wii U.
I got
sorry.
excited then. I was like, oh, it's on the Switch.
Yeah, it
Maybe
might
I'll
be
play
on
that
the
plane.
Switch. It might be on the Switch.
I'll have a look.
Yeah, it's a good game. I like it, and very cheap in the sale at the minute. Another game I bought in the PlayStation 4 sale was, I think it's called Ripstorm GP or something. It's a jet ski racing game.
Okay.
I think it's also available on mobile phones as well. But that was about £2, and it's very competent actually, rather enjoyable. As you race, you can do stunts as well, which give you more boost. Typical things. But you earn money for winning races. You have to get first to get 3 stars, second 2 stars.
Yeah.
So there's always I found on the first cup I could only get 2 stars. So there's definitely a bit of challenge there. You come back to it when you've upgraded your vehicles. You get money every one you win.
Okay.
And you can upgrade your speed, your acceleration, your handling, and such. So there's a lot there actually for the price. A lot of tracks, a lot of different cups to do. I thought that was very good. I bought the Towerfall expansion for about £2. There's another expansion to Towerfall.
There is.
Yeah. So I got that. So I've got all my Towerfall game. It's pretty complete now. Power Rangers Fighting Edition was a game I was quite excited about discovering.
Yes.
Because I wasn't familiar with this game at all. I've got the Power Rangers Fighting game on the Mega Drive.
Yeah.
But this one is the monsters, basically. Lord Zed's even in there as well. So it uses the engine from Endless Waltz, the Gundam Wing game for the Super Nintendo or Famicom, Super Famicom. And this is a British one, though. We didn't get Endless Waltz in the UK or,
no, we didn't, unfortunately.
or in America, I don't think.
Damn good game.
But we did get this, which is the best alternative.
Are you going to go Goldar and just slash
You can be
everyone
Goldar,
as a
yeah.
big gold monkey lion thing?
It looks really good, and I didn't mind spending £23 on it.
Oh, no, not £23.
It seems to be the cheapest I could find it at the moment, at least.
Okay. I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's just a cartridge, though.
It's fine.
And, we talked about Recore as well. So that's, so some bargains there, I think. I picked up recently.
Yeah. I've bought very little this week for the obvious reason I'm going to the UK and games are cheap there, and I also like being able to go into a shop and find
You
them.
found anything on the sale, on the PlayStation sale or Xbox?
You know what? I haven't checked.
I
will have a look. But
yeah.
to be honest with you, the games I would want as a downloadable title at the moment for the PS4 are very limited. I want Pyre, so if that's on there, I'll grab that. But I don't think it is because it was on a sale last week. That's all that's really springing to my mind. I wouldn't mind trying everything.
Yeah, I don't think that's on sale anymore.
I think that's not on sale anymore either. This is the thing; they were all on sale when I wasn't looking for stuff because I wanted to play Nier.
Yeah.
Oh Christ!
Nier.
By the way, I completed Nier Automata.
Oh yeah, why haven't you?
Oh my
this already?
Days. Well, because we kind of talked about it last week, and I was
Yeah.
very down on that game.
You were down on it.
Well,
I could not remember you.
Not necessarily down on it. I kind of preferred the first game.
Oh right.
Yeah, things happen in that game, man. Like that's a good fucking game.
Right at the very end, it would seem.
Towards the very end, I was saying on the podcast last week, like, oh, maybe I've got about half hour, an hour left.
You had more.
No, I had about 3-4 hours. Shit happened. Like things got emotional.
Yeah.
Things happened in that world that made me really question not only the nature
of
of
life.
playing video games, but the meaning of life. I'm not even joking. Like, there's the game has a lot to say about, a lot of psychological aspects of culture and
The human condition.
existentialism and the human condition in a very interesting ways. You should fucking play that game because it's mind blowing.
Yeah. Oh,
I sent it to our friend.
How many hours do you have to stick in there in order to get that?
To get to the ending.
Yeah.
Right. I played it through on easy because as much as I like...
Played it on easy.
I did play it on
I'm not
easy.
playing it on easy. I've started on
You started
regular.
on regular.
You change it?
Yeah, you can change it anytime you want. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter what difficulty you play it on. You're there for the story. The combat is tedious in some points, even on easy, just because it takes so long to kill enemies. So I can't even imagine what it would be like on regular towards the end game. I think about 16 hours, maybe. But that is essentially 3 full playthroughs. That's 2 full playthroughs of a game.
Yeah.
And I say that, I talked about it last week, but the first playthrough is you playing through the game as 2B. The second playthrough
You're not 2B.
is as 9S. So you see everything you did as 2B from the perspective of 9S, and it really fucks around with the perspective of the game that I don't think Nier really achieved in its playing as Nier and the lady who I've forgotten the name of. Then the third playthrough is not just simply repeating the Nier playthrough as it was in the first game. It is essentially a sequel to that game. It changes that game in very interesting ways and makes you question a lot of things. And then, it beats you over the head with some of these things of just like, oh, you were expecting this. And it's very much a commentary about the world and about how people how different parts of the world follow different systems, and be it religion, and some of them are pacifists, some of them form a kingdom.
I got this impression from what you told me last time about the societies.
But it all comes together
Yes.
in an amazing way in that third chapter.
Okay, great.
That
Well,
honestly,
say no more, Matthew.
you should play that game. Honestly,
I will. There's a reason I bought it. I knew it was going to be a good one. I had that feeling.
yeah.
I do enjoy third-person action games like that.
I mean,
anyway.
it's a good third-person action game.
Yeah.
Regardless of this.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, you should play that game. It does some very
So
interesting
actually,
things.
I should play that before I go back to Yakuza.
I would say even play that before Rico, or
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not set on getting stuck into Rico.
I love Yakuza 0. Yakuza 0, probably at this point, admittedly, I have not played Wolfenstein. I have not played Super Mario Odyssey. It could change.
So you're going to get Wolfenstein?
Potentially. Later in the month, towards the end.
I think I'll finish the first one first.
You probably should, yeah. I dare say Yakuza 0 will probably end up being my game of the year.
About Nier.
See, this is the complicated choice I'm going to have to make, is that Nier does some fucking incredible things. But all in all, like, Yakuza 0 is the most polished Yakuza game, and even playing Kiwami after it, like, after playing Yakuza 0, it felt a bit like a letdown.
You still haven't gone back to... What's it? What did you call it?
Kiwami.
Kiwami.
No, I haven't. Like I said to you, I'm going to leave some distance. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of looking forward to just playing that before I play the remake of Yakuza 2. So it'd be nice to, like...
Oh, okay. And that's coming out before 6?
That will be out...
After 6,
After 6, yeah. 6 will be out sometime next year. So I'll play that and then do it.
Okay.
Yeah, man, that game does some interesting things. You should play it. I need time to think which of those two I like, but there's some serious contenders for Game of the Year.
I'm going to play more of it. Before we do Game of the Year podcast, I will play more of it.
You need to.
Okay.
If not, you need to watch a summary of that game, because I need to talk to someone about it properly.
I'm so sorry. Yes. It's a lot of time, to sink into a game.
It's worth it. Trust me. Like, I very rarely say that. Have I
ever played a game that... Actually, I have spent more than that on Pokemon.
You've probably spent about that on Persona now.
Yeah, it's 12. I think, something
but
like
I mean,
that. Yeah.
Like...
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny, isn't it?
Yeah. On an RPG, no less.
Yeah.
Interesting. Anyways, I purchased some games. I bought some things.
You did? No, you said you didn't.
I bought very few things because...
That's what we were talking about, weren't we? Before we went on that Nier.
And then I went on my Nier tangent. We were very near the end.
We're never that far went from a Nier tangent, are we?
Oh, no, we're not. We both made bad puns. Someone was selling a load of Game Boy Color games. I mean, yes! Technically, you are correct. I will not correct you. On a Facebook group, and so I looked at them, and some of them were like 10 krona, and I was like, oh well, I will get some of those 10 krona Game Boy Color games. Turned out I had most of them, so I got a copy of Monsters Inc. for the Game Boy Color.
Oh, Scare Island. It doesn't have the subtitle.
No, it
does
doesn't
on
have
the
a
PS2,
subtitle.
I think.
Yeah. It looks like it's an 8-bit version of the Game Boy Advance game. It's alright. You're going into rooms scaring monsters and avoiding monsters and stuff. It's alright. The main game I bought from him, though, which is a little more expensive, was only 50 krona, though, so it was a bit of a bargain, was a copy of Konami Game Boy Collection Volume 2. Konami did a series of 4 carts where they took a lot of their original Game Boy stuff, gave them a colour palette and put them on a black cart. So not only could you play them on the original Game Boy, because in Japan it was an original Game Boy release, it came on a grey cart, but then also in colour. Volume 2 is pretty solid. It has Parodius, Quarth, Track and Field, and Frogger. The first one has Castlevania, Gradius.
I played the one on the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, there is one on the Game Boy Advance. I also have that.
Which has, I think that's Frogger on and Russian Attack.
Yeah, that's got like 26 games or something.
Yeah.
I have it over there, actually, still sealed.
Yeah.
But... yeah, this one is... They did a series of 4 games like this. Like, Namco also did a similar thing called Namco Museum, which is the first of the Namco museums on the Game Boy with things like Mappy and whatnot and Pac-Man. But, yeah, this is a pretty good game. They're pretty expensive because they generally have one good, at least, game on them. Like, Volume 3 is... From what I remember, it's full of... It has the 2... Goemon games. One of them didn't actually come out in English, so it's the only way of playing that game in English is on that black cart. And yeah, they tend to throw a lot of their shooters and a lot of their £20-30 pound roughly games onto this one cart in one bundle, so they're pretty sought after. Worth good. Picking up if you see them. Also, if you happen to have a spare copy of 1 or 4, please let me know. And other than that, thanks to my good friend Paul, who is listening to this podcast.
It sounds like you said girlfriend.
No, my good friend. Just mates. My friend Paul, who is of the Maximum Power Up podcast, which is Retroclax podcast, and previously of Retro Asylum, which is the podcast we featured on. He went to a local retro game shop and he posted a picture of some of the stuff in there. 'Cause he was like, "Oh, this is my local retro game shop. It's around the corner from the shop I'm a manager in." And they happen to have a copy of Wendy Every Which Way, which is a Game Boy Color game developed by Way Forward. And very good game. It is the proto Shantae, and it usually costs a lot more than the £2 he paid for it. So very happy to have that, because it's probably the last expensive Game Boy Color game that I needed, bar Shantae, and I probably will never own that cartridge because it's way too bloody overpriced.
You can buy it on eShop.
I could.
If you really want to play it,
I
think
could.
it's on eShop.
But the fact that a copy of Shantae, which is admittedly quite a rare game, is actually about 3 or 4 times as much as a copy of Magical Chase, which is a rare Japanese-only Game Boy game, kind of annoys me a little bit. But then again, I haven't got Magical Chase either, because I'm not paying £100 for a cartridge.
And breathe.
And breathe. Yeah, that's all I bought this week. I played through a ton of horror Game Boy and Game Boy original games this morning, just to get the preface up of this Avenging Spirits video. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes is terrible. Swamp Thing is terrible. I forgot how good Alien 3 was. Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge is a very good game. Castlevania Adventure is very hard and not very good. Castlevania Legend is a pile of shit, and I don't understand why it's £80 a cartridge. I also played a lot of other things, but none of them bear mentioning. Addams Family games aren't good. Dr. Franken.
Oh, well, the one on the Super Nintendo is good.
Yes, Pugsley Scavenger Hunt on the Super Nintendo.
That's not the one I've played, though. I've played just...
the original Addams Family
one.
on
the Super Nintendo.
That's quite a rare game, from what I remember.
Yeah. I think you've played it, too, didn't you? I remember back at the old place.
Probably did.
The one that's on the Amiga as well. I think it's the same on the Super Nintendo.
Yes, it is.
Amiga.
Ocean.
Ocean. I think so.
I played something by Ocean this morning. Can't remember what it was, other than the Addams Family. Never mind.
The Addams Family.
I thought you were going to click, not fart. Any more, or should we briefly touch upon what you will be doing this Halloween in terms of games? What are your favourite horror titles?
Oh, do you want to do the Halloween thing already?
Well,
we won't do it
we
next
won't
week.
be here next week because I'll be in the UK and therefore unable to podcast.
Halloween, scary games. It's a good question. Have I played many games that have really scared me? Not really.
No,
not off the top of my head. Can I think of something? Because I haven't played any Silent Hills.
Yeah.
So that's quite an obvious one, I guess. It could be a bit freaky. I mean, I played Resident Evil, but then again...
Are you going to play Haunting Ground since you picked that up?
Oh, yeah, I've got that. Yes, I'll try that one. I've got... what's it called? A game about... It's got a painting in its...
Oh, Layers of Fear.
Layers of Fear. I'm going to play that because I've had that for ages.
I hear it is very PT-like, and PT put the bejeebus at me.
Yeah, I'd love to play that. I'm going to see if that's going to be a game that can scare me. Is Soma scary? You don't like Soma, do you?
I don't like Soma because it doesn't control very well, and I found Soma more frustrating than scary because... You are in constant fear of being attacked.
Yeah.
But not because the thing is scary. That is an element of it.
Yeah.
But it's because you literally can't do anything because the controls are garbage. I really dislike it.
Well, Outlast is a pretty scary game. I remember playing that.
Outlast is pretty scary. That I couldn't play, actually. It was one of the few games I was like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, Outlast is a bit freaky, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it reminded me very much of Condemned on the 360, which is a game that also scared me.
Yeah. It's very similar to Condemned, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I'm looking because the guys who did Layers of Fear have done a new game, and essentially, not only is it supposed to be that kind of same scariness first-person game, but I've heard it's more of a sci-fi noir thriller.
Oh wow!
I have heard it compared to Blade Runner, but scary, and I can't remember the name of it.
Scare Runner. Running Scared.
Just Observer
scared.
is the name of the game.
Okay.
And it recently came out on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. But
I've missed that one.
You are a detective, essentially, in this future world. I think you may be AI. I think you might be a robot. And it's not that game by the guy who made Heavy Rain. And essentially you go to this crime scene where someone's been brutally murdered, and because they are robots, you can replay their last, 15 seconds of their life, so you see how they were murdered, and then you start to piece together the crimes from there. Sounds really good.
Does sound good.
It is a very good game. I've heard it's also not very long. I've heard it's about 4 or 5 hours or something up your wheelhouse.
Yeah, I think Layers of Fear is not so long.
No,
either,
I think Layers of Fear is about 2 hours, I think. The cat just caught a fly.
Yeah.
Good boy,
I don't
Taxi.
know why
Yeah.
he caught a fly.
I hope he doesn't swallow the
He'll
fly,
be
because then
fine.
he'll have to swallow.
Oh, there he goes.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, go.
There we go.
He's
He's
got it. A
He's
cat
eating
is
it.
just eating a fly live on the radio.
Core blimey.
This cat is eating a fly.
Yes.
I was going to say Gregory Horror Show.
Gregory,
How about that? That's a
man,
great one to play at Halloween.
Gregory Horror Show. I believe I've talked about it on this podcast before, because I bought it for a podcast listener once upon a time. Is perhaps one of my favourite PS2 games. I really like the Gregory Horror Show. It's a very unique game. It is... You are in... For those of you who don't know, you are in a hotel, and essentially all of the people in that hotel are there because they are in limbo.
Yeah.
And they've all committed a serious crime, and essentially... based on the time of day it is, they will all do certain routines, and you have to figure out what they're doing at certain times and get them to reveal their true self so they can confront their demons and essentially go to heaven. It is a
and there's like a
phenomenal game.
Nurse Dinosaur with a giant syringe, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
And
And
wants to get you.
Gregory is the rat that runs the place. And there's loads of things.
Yeah, you're a human.
You are a human, yeah. You're either a boy or a girl, depending on what you want to be. But it's based on a board game, and I've always wanted to get the board game because it's got tons of expansions, and it came with those little figurines in blind boxes.
Oh, wow.
And it was I remember going to the comic shop in Swansea when I was about 11 or 12 and seeing the blind boxes and going like, wow, those are really cool. It was the first time I'd ever seen anything that resembled like urban vinyl.
Is it a Western board game?
It is a Western board game, but it's a Japanese developed game.
Yeah.
Because I also believe that Japan got an animated series based on Gregory Horror Show.
Yeah.
Well, I will check if it's a Western developed game. I've always assumed it was.
It's one of those games, isn't it? You know, it stands out from the crowd.
Oh, 100%. That's
And-
weird because it's listed as, like, when I search for it, it's listed as animated series, but it was a board game first.
And it's one of them ones that would be prime fodder for like a HD remake or something.
Yes,
Wouldn't
yes,
it?
it is. Oh, that's interesting. It says Gregory Horror Show is a 3D CGI anime TV show, blah, 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 blah. But it doesn't mention the board game on the Wikipedia
Could you just
page.
imagine that, Matthew?
No, because I've almost bought it several times.
Well, maybe it was a board game later.
No.
No.
This is early 2000s, before the PS2 was even a glint in Sony's eye. The board game, Thomas, looks like this.
I'm just looking at the Greg Horror Show board game here.
with the little miniatures.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there's little like miniature versions, and they're literally about 3-4 centimeters tall. They're not
Yeah.
very tall at all.
Yeah.
They are literally board game pieces.
Yeah, I'd like to play that.
I would love to play that. I may actually see about buying that and see if I can find it while I'm back in Wales.
Yeah, great stuff. So what about you, Matthew? Is there anything you're wanting to play?
What would I want to
Give
play?
you the heebie-jeebies?
The heebie-jeebies. I don't know. I have a ton of PS2 horror games. I was thinking about this earlier because I was like,
Clock Tower 3?
I have Clock Tower for the PlayStation 1.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I would love to play that. I would also love to
Yeah.
play the Super Famicom Clock Tower because there's a very good English translation of that available.
Yeah,
I've always wanted to play that game. I will
Yeah.
probably play Clock Tower.
yeah.
However, I also have a Sunsoft game called The Note, which is supposed to be a very good survival horror, psychological
What's that
thriller.
for? What
It's for the
format?
PlayStation 1.
All right.
I bought it, believe it or not, when we were in Horsens one time, when they had that huge stack of PlayStation 1 games. I paid about 70 krona for it, and I posted it. I was like,
rare one.
it seems like it's a very rare game, so I would like to play it.
There's other games as well which aren't necessarily scary, just very Halloweeny.
Yeah.
Halloweeny. Like
Halloweeny.
Castlevania or Splathouse or something like that. It's a good game to play this season.
Symphony of the Night was a game I would play on Halloween. I would also play Super Metroid when I was younger. Super Metroid's got a very eerie
spooky,
atmosphere about it. But it was mainly like... Originally, it was me and my mate Dan would play Castlevania 4, and then we moved on to Symphony of the Night. I also played a bit of Circle of the Moon one year as well on Halloween, because that came out in like June or something, and I spent most of Halloween playing it.
Have you got the latest Splathouse game? The last one?
I do not have the 360 one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I will pick that up if I see it cheap when I'm in the UK.
It's on PS3 as well.
Yeah. It's a good game.
Yeah, I thought it was
I remember playing it at yours.
Yeah.
I remember being super put off because the reviews were terrible, and then I played it. And it wasn't too
it's
bad.
actually rather fun, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's any others.
Splathouse for the Famicom.
I would. Yes.
Wampaku
Sweet
Graffiti.
Home for the Famicom.
Yeah.
Which is the JRPG that is essentially the spiritual prequel to Resident Evil.
Oh.
I almost bought it while I was in Japan, but unfortunately, because of its sterling reputation, it was about 30 quid for a cart, and I'm like, well, I can't actually ever play this, so I'm good. So I'll download the ROM translation.
Cool.
I'll probably play Sweet Home, and I'll probably play Clock Tower.
I think we've got plenty to play, haven't we?
I think we have,
Halloween.
yeah.
And I've got to play Nier as well, so
you do need to play
I've got
Nier.
my work cut out for
me. Get
me.
on it, Parry. Any more, or is that you done?
I'm good, I think. Any more to add, Matthew?
No, I don't think so. Look out for a new episode of Biographic that is very Halloween themed. I imagine it will probably come out on, drumroll, it will be pre-Halloween because I'm flying home on Halloween, and to make sure it's up, it will probably be up on the Friday preceding that. So we'll look out for it on the 27th of October on Facebook. On facebook.com/GameBoil, and also on YouTube, where it will be primarily on GameBoil channel.
I may even do a Tom Plays of Layers of Fear.
Layers of Fear.
So you could check that out on Blast Process. So I'll maybe post that this weekend.
Yeah.
If I get the opportunity.
You should. That'd be good.
Yeah.
I would enjoy to watch it.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, I guess that's all I can really say. Have a great Halloween when you are there. Because as I said, this podcast will be up slightly earlier because I'm off to the UK for a week, so there will be no podcast next week. And then we probably only have about 4 or 5 until we are no longer recording them together across the table, which is going to be weird.
Yeah, it's a big
we haven't
big
really
move.
Talked about this on the podcast.
No, we haven't, but yeah, I'm making the big move back to the UK by the end of the year. I'll no longer be living in Denmark. So
no.
It means we're going to do the podcast in a slightly different way.
Yeah,
we haven't worked out exactly how we're going to do it yet.
I have some ideas.
You have an idea.
I have looked into it preemptively. Also because I was just like, well, once upon a time I wanted to do a Game Boy podcast, and I was like, no, I haven't got any time. Don't be stupid. But I've looked at the possibilities of Skype, and I've figured these things out.
I need a good microphone.
You do need a good microphone.
Yeah.
That is the only thing.
Are you going to plug this microphone into the?
How
does that work?
I will probably buy a Blue Yeti microphone.
Okay.
Because
is that expensive?
It's about 50 quid.
Okay. Yeah, point me in the direction of that.
I will. I will point that microphone in your direction, and then you can bloody speak into it.
But yeah, no need to worry about Tom Matt Attack coming to a close. It won't. We are going to continue. So
we will.
It shouldn't change things too much.
No, it won't. I mean,
I won't be able to. We do it like video. Do we video at the same time? So we look at
guess
each other?
we
don't need to. But
we
helps.
could. Yeah, why not?
It helps.
I mean, in all fairness, we will probably be recording it over Skype, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
If anything, we could maybe even milk a video component out of it then. Who knows?
Potentially.
Yeah. Let's have a look into that.
Yeah,
that
our
bit
two
I haven't
faces.
looked at. Yeah. It'd be like that, the Pat the NES Punk podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Sorry, having a moment. But yeah, so have a great Halloween when you get there. Have a good 2 weeks, and we will see you in a little while. If you would like to get in contact with us between then and now, however, you can do so in a variety of ways. facebook.com/Tom and Matt Attack, on blastprocess.com, as well as on Tom and Matt Attack /podcast, where you can find this here podcast, many others like it, 176 others to be precise. And you can also find this on the blastprocess.com YouTube channel, as well as in iTunes. While you're there, why not give us a cheeky rate and subscribe? And you can also do the same in Stitcher. Fun and games. Okay, Tom Barry.
Yep.
Let's wrap it up then.
It's been nice, Matthew.
It has,
I've enjoyed the experience of podcasting with you.
Core blimey.
As always.
I feel the same. Right, until next week, everyone. Remember what we say.
We say game on, Matthew.
Oh, do we?
Yeah.